Hey, I'm Ryan, and this is an engagement ring, a glass of scotch, 2 pieces of driftwood, and some duct tape. And in just a few minutes, you'll find out why they solved the puzzle to a successful online business. This story is a little weird, but when you watch this short presentation until the end, you'll discover how one ridiculously simple magic page allows you to borrow proven profitable businesses without creating any content or product or building complex websites. Plus, the key to finally being in control of your life with the ability to earn more and more. And the one thing I learned to avoid that was standing in the way of living a truly abundant life. If you've ever thought that you needed a big old business or a complex marketing strategy to live the life that you desire, then this weird story will surprise you. Now, I didn't always enjoy the amazing freedom lifestyle I lead today. Traveling whenever I choose, speaking from stage, teaching countless people all over the world to live the life of their dreams, and certainly not showing up on affiliate promotion leaderboards and consulting with million-dollar companies like I do now. In fact, far, far from it. Just a few years ago, my business and my life had pretty much hit rock bottom. I'm going to share this story with you now, even though it's pretty personal and humiliating. Because I think you need to know how far down the rabbit hole I went before discovering the system that lets me live the amazing life I live right now. You see, just a few years ago, I lost almost everything. I won't bore you with the details, but here's what happened. After some promising early success in my business, all at once I got royally slapped by Google, burned out of $20,000 by a web designer I'd hired, and at the same time almost lost my brother to a head-on collision with a drunk driver. At the same time, my income dropped, my free time dwindled, and my self-esteem started to sink near zero. I actually developed heart palpitations and an adrenal condition because my body was under so much stress. Now, I'm a glasses half full kind of guy, yet at this point in my life, not only was I not living the internet lifestyle, I was thinking that things couldn't get much worse. Although they were about to get worse, and I'll share that with you in a moment. And perhaps you can relate to this feeling of being painted in a corner and knowing that something needs to change too. So I already knew I was in a position where something had to give. Still, one more thing had to happen before I really got it. I remember the day when I decided enough was enough. It was late on a Tuesday, and I was at home with my fiance. At this point, I had been listening to the gurus who were peddling make money online junk, which meant that I was working harder and harder trying to pick up the broken pieces of my business and just watching it crumble around me faster and faster. And when I finally broke down and decided I had to confide in the girl I loved and fall back on that one last pillar of support I had, that's when it happened. Just like that, my worst fears came true as she said, "Something is wrong with you. I'm out of here." And she took the ring off her finger and she left. My whole world crumbled around me. I remember feeling like my body went limp and I collapsed on the floor and began sobbing uncontrollably. In just a matter of months, I'd gone from an energetic, happy, fun-loving, and about to get married to a lonely, depressed, stressed out, lost, and embarrassed young man. You might call it a full-on quarter-life crisis. I didn't feel like eating. Heck, I barely felt like getting out of bed. I was thin already, and now I looked like a walking skeleton. So I can guarantee you, when I tell you I hit rock bottom, my rock bottom was pretty freaking low. And while at my bottom, I asked myself a question. How much pain am I going to let myself go through before I finally decide to change? That question turned my life around. Because I decided at that moment to make a change. I had nothing left to lose and decided right then to reclaim my life. No matter what it took, I committed right there to put my family and my life first and figure out how to have a business in a way that would give me all the freedom I wanted to live it on my own terms. From then on, my business would work for me. No more working myself to death, no more depending on other people, no more worries of losing it all. If I had a simple business that paid for my life without requiring me to be a slave, that would allow me to live a fulfilling and free life. And that would only bring me closer to the people in my life and have them cheering me on. So I joined mastermind groups, went to seminars, anything I could do to study up and close behind the curtains what real lifestyle millionaires were doing, including a blue-collar Arkansas country boy named Travis, who made a vow never to shave again the day he quit his job. I'll tell you more about him in a minute. You sit at your computer day after day trying to remember all the training you watched, reading contradictory email from guru after guru, getting more and more confused. You work harder and harder, spend more and more time, and you can just feel the questioning eyes in the back of your head as you sit there. The pressure building up as your spouse, your friends, your girlfriend or boyfriend wonder what you're doing spending all that time on the computer with nothing to show for it, and why you're not spending time with them instead. You spend all your time online struggling with technical stuff, painful hours staring at a blank screen, writing, doing endless boring drudge work trying to drive traffic with no end in sight. And once it feels like all you're doing is treading water with little or nothing to show for it, it's over before you even start. You hit a wall and quit, humiliated and frustrated that this internet thing seems to work for everyone else but you. I fell for this lie too, and it kept me stuck for a long time. There's no way I want you to experience pain like this, ever again. First, I need to tell you the weird but true story about how I stole this simple system. I had to resort to some underhanded tactics to get it. When I flew out to Arkansas last year during my struggle to rebuild my life, I practically begged my millionaire friend Travis to share his secrets with me. You see, he was living the lifestyle that I wanted. Not only was he a millionaire, but he was totally at peace. He had plenty of money without any stress or worry of everything going away. In fact, he was just a self-described blue-collar country boy from Arkansas. Just a few years ago, he had been a computer salesman working 70 hours a week, and working tirelessly to figure out how to build an online business in whatever spare time he could find. It wasn't easy for him, especially while balancing a family, being a dedicated husband, and finding time to eat and sleep. In fact, he told me that before stumbling upon this very simple system, his health and his happiness had started to dwindle because he was so stressed. He had to create a truly simple 3-step system, one that he could do in his spare time without giving up his life. So he rolled up his sleeves and followed the steps with some old-fashioned blue-collar marketing. What he did was far from perfect, but it was simple and very, very effective. It wasn't long before he had a full-fledged 6-figure business, and later a $1 million a year business. His blue-collar business earned enough that he walked into his salesman's job and resigned forever. And suddenly he had the freedom and the income to live life how he pleased, with his blue-collar business paying for him to spend the day being a better husband, father, friend, and man. That left him feeling fulfilled and knowing that he was impacting his family and the world every day. Most importantly, he was totally at peace. I wanted that. Naturally, I wanted to know his secrets so that I could have the same abundant and peaceful lifestyle. But he told me he decided to never share his unique marketing strategy in public at all, because that just sounded like a lot of extra time that he'd never get back. Plus, he didn't want to be considered one of those slimy gurus at all. Good thing Travis lives in a dry county, and I happen to know his favorite brand of scotch. So I waited patiently while Travis poured himself a drink, and then another, and then another. Sure, I did have to get him a little tipsy, and thank goodness for the power of that bottle to loosen inhibitions a bit, because as he loosened up, he began to tell me more about his dead simple strategies for making millions online. And in his loosened up state, he admitted that most of his money came from a simple 3-step blue-collar marketing system. Heck, that was all he could do, because he did not want to complicate his life. His system wasn't pretty or perfect, but it was very simple and effective. I took furious notes as he detailed the simplicity of his system. Now I want to share another great money-getting tip with you. It's a specific way you can start having maximum fun. Yeah, fun rather than stress with your online business anytime you want. If you do this, you'll not only enjoy the process of reaching your goals that much more, you'll also get to reward your family and friends on demand. What's the secret? Anytime you're ready to treat yourself with a vacation or an extra indulgence, hold a little fundraiser campaign to pay for it. Here's how you pull it off. Figure out exactly how much this treat is going to cost, then kick off a campaign through your Magic Teas page in the exact right sequence. And very soon your extra indulgence is paid for up front, leaving you to enjoy it debt-free and guilt-free. In fact, Travis has one sequence all spelled out with exact directions that has put over $1 million in his pocket. I'll fill you in on all the steps to make this happen pretty much anytime you want if you keep watching. In fact, I recently used this tip myself before a trip to pay for my expenses to hop on a private plane to Miami Beach for the weekend. I boarded the plane and didn't think twice about how I was going to pay for it. That was handled as soon as I plugged in the sequence. I'm not saying this to brag. You just need to realize that this is possible. Just imagine traveling at the drop of a hat, doing cool things for friends, and experiencing a lifestyle where you are in control. And so just picture it for yourself. Here you are at your computer wrapping up a quick Magic Teas page, feeling awesome about yourself because you can actually see the progress you're making toward your goals every day when you log into your accounts. And instead of staring at you wondering what the heck you're up to sitting at the computer all day, your friends and your family, all the people who matter in your life are marveling at how relaxed you've become and how easily you can just disconnect from it all and spend time sharing the experiences you enjoy the most together. And that's when things get really fulfilling and fun. And every bit of struggle you ever went through in the past, no matter how brutal, seems worth it, like it's all paying off.